A very unfortunate story to start with. 7 persons have died in an accident involving 2 commercial buses. The accident occurred on the Odumase-Konongo-Kumasi Road. 47 injured victims are currently on admission at Stewards Hospital, Konongo Government Hospital, and 5 in critical condition transferred to the Komfo-Anokye Teaching Hospital. OHENE-NKWANTA has more in the following report.
This is a scene of fatal accident. We are told several lives have been lost here, but it is not clear what actually caused the accident. But what we do know is that these accidents involved a VVIP bus and OA bus. One was traveling from Sehui, Yoso in the western north region of Ghana, heading towards Accra. And the OA bus, we are told, was also traveling from the Accra direction to Kumasi. But as to how these vehicles got themselves involved in the accident, is still not known. Let's speak to Superintendent Emmanuel Edubuahin, the Ashanti Regional MTTD commander, to give us some details of the accident. Good morning and thanks for your time. What can you tell us about this accident?
Good morning to your viewers and anybody who is listening to us at the moment. The information we've gathered so far and what we've also realized from the scene is that, like you rightly said, the VVIP with registration number GT6082-18 was traveling from Yoso to Accra. And then there's this OA2 with registration number GT4913-14, which is also traveling from Accra to Sampa in the North region. So the information we are gathering, which is yet to be investigated and then come out with the results, is that the vehicle, the OA, attempted or was trying to overtake the VIP. And you could see from the curve over there, that was what we were told, that is where he started with the overtaking. And as a result, I think he couldn't finish with whatever he was doing, and then he crashed head-on with the VVIP, which resulted in about 7 deaths for now, as we have, and then several people also have injured. The information we are gathering is that the VVIP was almost fully loaded, and the other one was also fully loaded. So far we have 5 males and then 2 females who have lost their lives. Another aspect is that even the female is a woman and the daughter, 3-month-old daughter, who have also perished, making the total, as of now, 7. So we are still gathering the information. We have been able to talk to some of the victims who were on board the vehicle. And God is so good. The lady also sitting down here was also one of the victims in the vehicle. We have also asked her some of the things that she knows. So we are gathering all these pieces of information and then we come out with a conclusion later.
Has any of the victims been identified so far?
For now, it is the driver of the VVIP who has been identified, because the driver also died on the spot. Like I said, 5 of them died at the spot and 2 died at the hospital. So the driver of the VVIP has been identified. So I'll use this medium or this opportunity to reach out to all Ghanaians whose relatives have told them they are traveling from one place to the other who haven't reached home, to contact us, or especially the Konongo Division MTTD, to find out whether any of them or any relative have been trapped here or has been admitted at any of the hospitals.
So, viewers, we have been speaking to Superintendent Emmanuel Edubuahin, the Ashanti Regional MTTD commander, who has been taking us through details of this accident that happened last night at about 11:30 p.m. I must say, this is a very horrible scene to see a human pass. Some I have seen here scattered on the accident scene, and human belongings as well. These are indication that people on board these buses had prepared to spend the Christmas either with their families and loved ones elsewhere, because you can see live chicken in the VVIP bus that was not affected by the accident, and those who drove to this scene have been asking questions as to why the chicken was spared. Let's speak to some of the victims. So what actually happened whilst we were on board the bus?
Whilst I boarded the bus, I fell asleep, so I just heard a noise. I was on the floor. I managed to pick my purse and my phone, and then I managed to escape through the window and then got my bag. As for me, I didn't get hurt, but many of them got hurt on the leg and then on their heads. I feel some pains in my bones. That's all.
Sorry to hear this. Were you expecting to spend Christmas with your families, or maybe you had no plans? The Christmas was not part of your plans?
Christmas was part of my plans because I had to go and stay with my parents in Seshi after SHS, so my friends were missing me in Accra and they told me to come. I was supposed to go on Monday, but I was waiting for last market so I could buy stuffs and send them to Accra, but so I had to come today, and then this is what happened to us on our way back.
What would you say probably saved you, because you said other people on board the bus got hurt, and you yourself, you are even lucky that you are not even hospitalized?
I don't know, but I would say that it's only God who helped me, because I was asleep. I didn't know what happened. I just woke up and then jumped through the window. So it's only God who saved me.
What was the mood in the vehicle like, in the bus? How were people reacting to the accident?
People were rushing out, and then the doors too couldn't open. And then inside the bus there were no lights too, because it's happened impromptu. So people were rushing. So I'm small, so I could hardly come out. So I just jumped through the window.
Did you see some of the victims?
Yes, someone had his eye come out, and then someone had a head cut, someone had the hand flesh come out, and other stuff.
It must be a very horrible scene for you.
Yes, it was horrible. I had not experienced any accidents before. This is my first time, and
Very terrible experience there. If you're driving, exercise caution. Away from that, 250 youth in the Bono region have received vocational and technical skills training in a bid to make them employable. It is under the Sinapiaba Youth Entrepreneurship Apprenticeship Program aimed at reducing unemployment in the area. National Coordinator Margaret Owusu-Asare says it's the company's contribution to addressing socio-economic challenges in the country. Prince Apia has more in this report.
In 2005, Sinapiaba Savings and Loans Ghana Limited introduced the Youth Apprenticeship Program to tackle the rising unemployment rate in the country. Since then, it has trained more than 1,000 youth. The new set of beneficiaries were identified from the Bono region, where they underwent a 3-year training program in various skills and vocational training. National Coordinator for Sinapiaba Youth Entrepreneurship and Apprenticeship Program, Margaret Owusu-Asare, says the move is very important to enhance the livelihoods of the people in these areas.
Our intention is to help train our youth who have nothing to do and who are willing to go into apprenticeship training. So we are trying to help to get the youth something to do, I mean, in the form of earning income for themselves. Everything that we can learn through the apprenticeship training is acceptable, except barbering and driving. You know, for driving, you have to go to the driving school. We tell them that they should go ahead and implement all the things that we show them.
She spoke at the graduation ceremony for 250 youth in the Bono region. Some of the beneficiaries spoke to Law Business about their implementation plans.
I studied fashion, yes, and when it comes to being faithful towards your work, I can assure everybody when it comes to that, because that is most of our problems here. If we go to various shops for our dresses, they do promises today, tomorrow, the next day, and otherwise. But I can assure them when I give you 2 days, it is assured that 2 days you have it.
Sinapiaba has been so good to us since difficult to be completed, and they support that without paying anything. And so we thank them for everything.
The National Vocational and Technical Institute, NVTI, is also encouraging Ghanaians to show interest in made in Ghana product.
The Ghanaian product is as quality as anything you can find anywhere. My advice to the general public is that whatever is produced in Ghana here might not have the finished quality that you see to be most of these things from China. The finishing is very good, but the real quality is inferior. So why don't we try our own and see the good in us? After all, if something is not good and you try it and you tell the people, oh, this is what I think is wrong with this thing, and we improve on it, we will very soon reach where we want to reach.
Nana Bufutia Bosompem is County of Sunyani traditional area. He urges Ghana government to rebrand made in Ghana product to attract foreigners as well as Ghanaians living abroad. Prince Apia reporting.
The first step of curing a disease is for it to be detected early so that the affected person can seek medical care. This is the view of a team medical personnel who conducted free medical screening in 10 suburbs in the Wa municipality. About 2,000 people were medically screened for high blood pressure and hepatitis. Though there are no figures to back the claim, the two medical conditions are said to be killing several people in the Upper West region. Josiah Nambai urged the people to medically screen to detect the diseases early to enable them seek medical care. JoyNews Upper West correspondent Rafiq Salam has more.
30 medical doctors and other supporting staff comprising of nursing practitioners and students conducted the free medical screening at 10 different locations in the Wa municipality. Wipers, a non-governmental organization, and Senior Victory College supported the Dr. Jadare and Bahas Foundations to medical screen over 2,000 persons on high blood pressure and hepatitis. Persons found to have the two medical conditions will be supported to seek further medical care. Mumun Suleimana is the founder of Wipers and Senior Victory College. He threw more light on the exercise.
Basically, most of our people will not voluntarily get up and say they are going to look at their health status. They get up, they look at themselves and think they are healthy. And before you realize, something has happened. And it is not good enough for us. So as somebody from the region and from the municipality, we feel that it is important that we at least assist our people in this manner as our social corporate responsibility. You should know Dr. Jedere is an illustrious son from this region that has done a lot for our people. But it looks like most people do forget of him. So for me, as an individual owning this NGO and a school, in trying to at least let people know whom Dr. Jedere is, have decided to embark on this critical exercise, just to let Jedere to be aware that the people of Upper West are still proud of him. We know what he has done for the people of the region, and the only thing we can do for him is to celebrate him in this regard.
A member of the medical team and a student at the University for Development Studies School of Medical Science, Josiah Nambai, said several people have lost their lives as a result of high blood pressure and hepatitis B. The simple reason being that people are unaware of their medical condition. He said the first step of curing a disease is for it to be detected early.
We have a lot of health issues that people are facing, and most of them are subtle, so it takes a long time, and within the period, most of them are not even aware they have those issues. And the blood pressure issues is one of them. A lot of people have hypertension, they don't even know. They ascribe it to a lot of things locally. So it's important that we do this because it's through the measurement that we can actually determine if someone has hypertension. And secondly, with the hepatitis B screening, it's also another one of the sicknesses that is killing a lot of people. But in the period that is still developing, a lot of them are not aware they have it. And by the time they are aware, it has caused a lot of damage in the system. So it's through these regular screenings that we can detect the disease early. And with early detection, they can be treated in a good time so that they can gain back their health, so that it doesn't get to the chronic stage where it has caused a lot of damage and then we cannot do anything to help them again.
Reporting for JoyNews, Rafiq Salam. Wow.
Now, major streets and intersections in the once garden city of Kumasi have been taken over by stray animals, especially cattle. The age-old phenomenon appears to have worsened due perhaps to high demand for livestock for Christmas festivities. Besides the public nuisance and danger situation, sanitation is a major worry as animals leave their droppings along the streets with little or no action taken by authorities. The story, however, is different in the eastern region town of Banka, where community leaders generate income from stray animals for communal benefit. Lava FM Sanaya Ojima traveled to the community and puts the spotlight on the innovation in the following report.
On the Asokwa-Alonga Junction Highway in Kumasi, about 15 cattle attempt to cross the road. They obstruct traffic flow, even though the lights show green, signaling vehicles to move. Evangelist Alex is resident of Kase, one of the areas with high incidence of stray cattle.
Free ahojo edeba Kase.
I was moving from Ahojo to Kase with my children. From nowhere, a cattle ran into the middle of the road. Fortunately, I spotted it early, so I applied the brake. It was very close.
Stray animal phenomenon is unrestricted to these two places. Top High, near KNUST Junction, on the main Kumasi-Accra road, has its own issues with cattle. On one side of the road, cattle graze here without supervision, causing obstruction and other forms of nuisance to road users. Dealing with stray animals is a responsibility of city authorities, whose repeated warning to animal owners have always fallen on deaf ears. Here is Environmental Health Officer at Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly, Isaac Basanyin, on challenges to enforcement of the law.
The only thing, as I told you, is the people that are going to arrest, who are the cowboys. This is our problem. We hope we are going to sit down with them again. They were trying to charge about 100 cedis per arrest, and of which I would think is too high. And we are saying at least they can charge about 50 Ghana cedis per animal. We will do that. So that is the only problem. I hope after Christmas we are going to commence the exercise. We have finished with every arrangement. Those who are going to keep watch the animal when they are in the pond, and then those who are going to arrest them, and then the vehicle that we are going to use in arresting them. We have finished the necessary arrangement.
At Banka, a farming community in the eastern region, similar situation prevails, mainly with goats and sheep. Farm produce, as well as backyard gardens, are constantly under siege, leaving crops completely destroyed and farmers in huge losses. Cocoa farmer Kwame Nkrumah is a victim of such destruction when animals ate cocoa beans he was drying. He also lost crops, which saw him record very low yield. He explains how the situation affected his family.
I don't have livestock. I rely solely on crop farming. If you keep livestock and you allow them to destroy my farm, it means you are denying my children education.
In the center of the community is what one may call a special prison, as old as the community itself, for stray animals. All stray animals captured under any circumstance are kept here until their owners show up to claim them. 3 weeks ago, Kwame Nkrumah arrested a goat which had destroyed his crops in his garden. Trader and livestock keeper Yadida claimed ownership of the captive animal. She says, "I don't know how it got away to destroy a farm. It was arrested and I had to pay 50 cedis for it." 20 cedis of the amount went to Kwame Nkrumah as compensation and the rest into community coffers for development. This experience compelled her to restrict movement of her animals under strict supervision of her daughter as shepherd for fear of such fine. Other livestock keepers here closely monitor them to ensure they never stray into people's farms. Despite the measure introduced over the years to check stray animals, they remain a concern, as happens in cities like Kumasi and Accra. Here is Banka Dikro, Nana Kwame Sapon Kumankuma.
It is about time we strengthen the law. We will have to ensure all livestock keepers have pens.
An empty prison, that's how I'll describe it. It's because of Christmas, and every keeper of livestock here is keeping an eye on his or her livestock. This is when they get to cash in on the animals they've been keeping for over a year now. But be rest assured that when Christmas is over, these animals will find themselves back on the streets, and whoever goes contrary to laws here will find itself in this prison. For Joy News, Nana Ojima reporting.
Walking long distances in search of water is a stressful and daunting task. Well, that's what the people of Timiase in the central region have been subjected to for years. However, following the provision of some storage systems in that community, residents say they can now heave a sigh of relief.
Some residents of the Timiase electoral area within the Cape Coast municipality are heaving a sigh of relief as one of their major concerns has been addressed. For many years now, inhabitants found it so difficult to have access to potable water despite persistent appeals to NGOs and some philanthropists. The MP for the area, Kweku Rickethagen, has thrown a lifeline and come to their aid by providing polytanks for the affected people to ease their water challenge. He spoke with Joy News.
When I came here the last time, that they asked me to provide them with water because they had challenges with water here. And I promised them that when I get back, I will make sure that they have water here. And so this is the day the Lord has made. The Almighty has made it possible for me to provide this polytank so the people in this community can have clean water from now going forward.
Some of the residents also expressed their gratitude for the kind gesture.
We are faced with serious challenges having to fetch water, both the young and the old. Very often, the children have to walk long distance to buy water. We are very grateful to the Member of Parliament for the crucial intervention made to help us.
Now we don't have to be stressing ourselves because of non-availability of water, as we used to go to several areas to fetch water. We are grateful to the Member of Parliament for this kind gesture.
Now, widows at Dafiama in the Dafiama Bushe Issa district, who hitherto were tagged as witches, are now heaving a sigh of relief. This follows the formation of the St. Monica's Widows Association that is championing the rights of widows in the community. Founder of the association, Reverend Sister Gabriella, was worried women who lost their husbands were accused of being witches. JoyNews' Upper West correspondent Rafiq Salam has this report from Dafiama.
Supervising High Court Judge Justice Kwesi Boakye is admired by many who sit through court proceedings he presided over because of his disciplinary, no-nonsense, and above all, knowledge of the law. Outside the courtroom, he is different. He wears a usual smile, a benefactor, or a lifeline for several dozens of people. He works to ensure that people living in squalor are provided with the needed attention and care. One of such groups is the St. Monica's Widows Association based at Dafiama in the Dafiama Bure Issa district.
in the Bible we are told in Proverbs 19:17 that when you do these things to such people, you are lending these things to God, and God will help you. I see that, look at the time now, it's Christmas time. I cannot enjoy the Christmas with my family in the comfort of my home. So I'm sure coming down here to meet such people with these items is also part of the celebration. And so I have chosen the Afiama because I like them and because of the nature of their plight. And I'm praying that I get more strength, more energy, more resources to be able to do better than what I have been able to do so far.
The association was formed 24 years ago by 83-year-old Reverend Sister Gabriela Nonang.
And sometimes if somebody dies in the house, they say he's the one, the person. They call her wish. Sometimes they chase her away to go to the bush or to go to her parents in their family house. This time that this association open till now, I never hear that they chase anybody away. I said that I don't want anybody to say that anybody is a wishes. You marry a woman, stay with the person for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 10 years. And when you know that the woman is not usually, you call her wishes and send away. Now we said that this thing had to close. We don't want the women to be. There are also people that go wrong.
Justice Kwesi Boakye, with support from her UK-based sister, Beverly Otterson, and her daughter, Ila, has in the past made several donations to the St. Monica Widows Association. This year is therefore not different, as they presented to them for the festive season 4 bags of local rice, 4 boxes of cooking oil, used clothes and footwear.
I don't understand the language very much, but I'm sure they have also expressed the joy in the little things I've been able to do for them in the Dagari music. I say I am proud. My sister who has been helping is also proud. And we promise that whatever we have to do to help them to continue with this joy, we will do so. Whether we are here or not, we will continue to do so until we leave this earth.
Sister Gabriela was grateful to the supervising High Court judge for the kind gesture.
The way how they helping us every year, bring us all a lot of things, clothing, rice, shoes, and everything. I said that only God will help them. Only God will turn them for me. Only God will reward them for me.
Reporting for JoyNews, Rafik Salam, Dafiama.
All right, time to look back at 2019, which is gradually ending, and the issue of corruption is one of the key issues we had to talk about in 2019. Remember the Auditor General, Iyoko, and the procurement issues? How about the operations of the Special Prosecutor? Freelance journalist and anti-corruption crusader Manasseh Azura-Wene reveals little has been done by the current government to fight the canker. Here are excerpts of our year in review in anti-corruption.
You have also been involved in stories and issues around the Auditor General, Mr. Domelevo, who has been one of the most vociferous public servant in the area of anti-corruption in the country. First of all, what is your assessment of his work and the sort of relationship that he has had, especially this year, with the government?
Well, I think Daniel Domelevo is, if you are counting Mahama's achievements, if he's not number 1, he'll be number 2, because he's one appointee by a president or a government that has really brought hope to the institution he's heading. His work has been celebrated by civil society, except the crooks who are stealing and wouldn't want Domelevo to work. I don't think there's anybody, any genuine person who has the interest of this nation at heart, who would hate what he's doing. So I spoke to somebody at the audit service, and this person said, look, this man has made us to be respected. Previously, if we sent audit queries, people didn't even respond. But now they are running to our offices trying to give explanations. So he's brought some kind of life into the audit service. It is very unfortunate that for some time now he's come under serious attack and what I think is persecution by people in this government. And when the day he won the GII Integrity Personality of the Year, the Danish ambassador to Ghana was there to give a statement. She made a remark and said that the international community was concerned and worried that the persons and institutions that were fighting corruption were being fought as we get into an election year. And it's very clear that not everyone is happy with what is happening to Mr. Domelevo. And I think it's very unfortunate that if you look at the Attorney General's Department, if you look at Yoko, if you look at Shraj, if you look at the Office of the Special Prosecutor, I don't see any serious impact these institutions are making in the fight against corruption. The audit service for me now remains our only hope. And if the man who has inspired that hope is being targeted, then it is very unfortunate, to say the least.
But how did we get here, Malik? How did we get here with sort of this relationship gone bad, sort of, between the Auditor General and the government? How did we get here?
I think we have to fall back on something Mr. Daniel Domelevo himself said. He was on the Super Morning Show on Joy FM one morning. I was in the studio with him. And he said he believes that corruption was fighting back and that corruption is so insidious and so powerful that whenever you fight it, it fights back. And that he believes he was being fought back.
While the full discussion is on at 8 right after JoyNews Prime, don't miss a review of the fight against corruption in 2019. You're watching News Today. Coming up in business, Chamber of Mines calls for deployment of best technology to reduce negative impact of bauxite mining in the Itiwa forest.
So for us, it's not blanket mine or not mine. What are the circumstances around the technology which is going to be deployed, and how successful would it be? What would be the impacts?
Charles Aite is up next with the details.